starts today, Wednesday. It starts today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then the classes for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it will be recorded and sent to you on or before 12 o'clock on Sunday. That is how we do it. I don't just want to send to this class alone. No, I'll add all of them and give it to you at once on Sunday. Thank you so much. Now let's go over to let's delve into what we have. Early child education. Early child education. Every child is a gift from God. Every child is a gift from our Creator in heaven. And every child has a great potential that transforms the world. The best you and I can do is to release them into a world where they can be transformed, into, and they will transform the world. You can see the quote was gotten from Maria Montessori. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we as parents, we as educators, we as guides, we as teachers, we as administrators, Ministry of Education, however, whichever body that is in charge of regulating this aspect, we are not to discover their potentials for them, but we are to guide them to discover their potentials. We don't just tell them that gone are the days where our parents used to tell us that you'll be a medical doctor, without knowing whether you want to be a medical doctor or not, whether you are fit for it or not. This is not that era. Every child has his or her own potential that was deposited by the Creator. So as educators, as parents, as teachers, our job is to, guide them in discovering their potentials by themselves. By themselves. Now the question comes, what is ECE? What is early child education or early childhood education? The question, our madam, that question is for Madam Chinansa. Madam Chinansa, can you help us out? When you hear of ECE, early childhood education, what are we talking about? What do you think? You said, I overheard you said you work in a Montessori setting. Can you help us, ma?
I can say that early child education is basically toddler, a child from toddler class, so part of toddler, that's from primus to 6 years.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Chinasa. Oh, that's a wonderful one. Madam Olivia, you've been hearing maybe, I don't know, do you have children, ma? Do you have children?
Oh, please.
Do you have
I
children,
don't.
ma? Okay.
I don't have children now.
Okay, I want to ask maybe from sisters, brothers, aunties, you've come across the word ECE, early childhood education or early child education. Now, what do you, in your own terms, I know this is not your field, but in your own terms, what do you think it is?
So I think early childhood education is just about caring for the child educational needs from the age of 0 through to 5.
All right. Thank you so much. It's in line. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. That's coming from somebody that is not fully in the field of education. Thank you so much, Madam Chinasa. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. Now I can see Madam Eneze Nkem. Madam Nkem, are you with us? Good evening, Madam Nkem. Or is it Mr. or Madam or Mrs. Nkem?
I'm Mrs. Nkem.
All right, sorry, my bad. You're welcome, ma. I appreciate you so much. Madam Nkem. Yeah. All right, Madam Nkem, I was asking, and Madam Olivia gave us her own idea. Madam Chinansa, which is in the field, gave us her own. Are you in the field? What field are you, ma?
Okay, currently I'm in public administration. I manage
Okay.
a company for someone, but I left the education field in 2020 because of lockdown.
Okay.
Yes, but I've been teaching before I left the field.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ma. That's a nice one. So, in the process of your teaching, okay, let's forget about the formal setting, the informal setting. Where are you a mother, Ma? Are you a mother? You have kids?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, Ma.
Yes,
From
I'm a
the
mother of two children.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's good. Then, Ma, please, I believe you are in a good position to answer this. What do you think? Because from your children, what do you think is early childhood education to you? Yes, Madam Ken, we are hearing you.
Well, and important education a child receives at these formative years, early
Okay,
formative years of his or her
okay,
life.
oh,
And it is best when this education is um, gotten from people the child feels comfortable with, because it begins to form the child's behavior, his social behavior, every form of patterns you see the child replicating in the society. So the
all right.
person that will give this education is important, but it comes at these formative years. The
Okay,
foremost education the child gets.
okay, all right. Thank you so much. Wow, wow, I have wonderful. I don't know why the men they refused to join, apart from Uh, I don't know why the men they refuse to join. I have wonderful women, intelligent women in this group. I appreciate all of you so much. Now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now we know very, very well that there is no building that stands without a strong foundation. There is no building existing today without a strong foundation. We talk about uh, adulthood. You and I did not just our parents and our mothers did not just uh, give birth to us the way we are as adults. No, we passed through a stage, and that stage is called childhood. It is the childhood that gives birth to the adulthood, because it is from the stage of childhood that you grow to become a teenager, young adult, and so on, and become a full adult and go into adulthood as the case may be. Now, there are things that makes a child, in the US, in the UK, United Kingdom, because this is drawn from Blessed Cosmopolitan College, UK. In the UK, some will tell you that early childhood ranges from 0 to 5. Some will tell you that it ranges from 0 to 8. Some will tell you that it ranges from 0 to 10, as the case may be. But however, let's see, ECE is regarded as the crucial stage for setting a strong foundation for a lifelong learning and well-being. You've all said it, that these are the important things needed in the development of a child. The important things that you must give a child is not, it's just like we have kids and we feed them, but there's what they call balanced diet. There's what they call balanced diet. Without the diet being containing all the classes of food, it can never be called a balanced diet. Therefore, those classes of food are the things we give that is in the food that makes it a balanced diet. So to bring that same idea back to ECE, there are the important things we need to give in terms of academics, because this generates to a lifelong learning and the well-being of a child. If you go further, you can see that it has been proven to increase educational outcomes, social skills, and mental health throughout later years in school and adulthood. I told you that it is the childhood that gives birth to the adulthood. So there is no how when so there is no how a child can become intelligent. There's no how a child can become brilliant I'm not saying that a child cannot be excel, a child cannot be outstanding. But based on this theory, a child must pass through within that stage of 0 to 5, as Madam Chinansa told us, and as Madam Olivia and also Madam Inkem told us. This stage, if you miss out in their development process, it will take time for them to pick up. That's why you see some children, some kids, you see even when they become adults, they look as if they are underage. They look as if they are underage. They are not they are not mentally sound. Their medulla oblongata is not developed. They are still in, that stage where they don't common sense. Let me put it that way. Common sense that is supposed to be common. They don't have that. Okay, who is involved? Who is involved? Who is involved in ECE, early childhood education? Who is involved? This is where you and I come in as first educator, teachers, guide, parents. Parents. What we do is that now that we have Gretch, we have day old, we have preschool and all that. What we parents do, we are so carried away with our work. We are so carried away with our work that we forget what are our main responsibilities. Not only the educator or the teacher. No, we parents, we are also educators. We are to play active role in developing this stage in a child. You can see in the UK, an early child education teacher is referred to as an early year stroke nursery teacher. Now, importance of childhood education. Importance of childhood education. These are some of the importance. Develop strong language and literary skills. Gain knowledge in maths. You see, many our children today, they are afraid of mathematics. They're afraid of mathematics. But with this knowledge that is passed during this period, it gives them an added advantage. That phobia for mathematics, for science, and at times theoretical subjects like social studies will not be there. Gain knowledge in mathematics, science, and social studies. Build social skills and make friends. So know how to interact with their fellow friends. They know how to interact with people, even with teachers. Develop emotional regulation skills. Learn self-help skills. We'll see that in the course of this study. Now, an early year teacher must have these qualities. You cannot be an early year teacher without having these qualities. When I talk about teacher, it's not just a teacher, parents, you are involved, educators, you are involved, caregivers, you are involved, guide, you are involved. So now I'm going to be calling on each. I'm going to start, I'll call on us, explain. Okay, not this. All right, I want to start with my assistant is going to be Madam Chinansa. Madam Chinansa, please permit me to call you that. Am I permitted? Madam Chinansa. Okay. Madam Kem. Madam Kem, are you with us? Are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. All right, Madam Kem, let me start with you. I like that name so much, Nkem. Nkem. Later, I'll ask you the meaning. But for now, let's continue. Okay, Madam Nkem.
Okay.
Yes, one of the qualities that a teacher or a caregiver or parent, guide, educator, administrator, minister of education, and all that is involved in this field is passionate. One of the qualities, the person must be passionate. Now, can you explain how a teacher should be passionate?
Okay. I have to respond to this from the angle of my own experience.
Okay, ma,
In
go
the
on.
teaching field, I
Yes, ma.
discovered that a lot of people, teaching has become an all-commerce field. I'm talking of formal teaching now,
Yes,
formal
ma'am.
classroom learning, it has almost become an all-comers profession where people maybe who can't find their hands on other things are trying out teaching. But I come to discover that there are some persons that are passionate about early education and early childhood learning. And for these people, they see every child as a potential individual who is loaded with abilities that will transform the society. So if an educator is not passionate, is not interested, is not self-motivated, and
Go on, Madam Kem. We are
does not
with you.
have interest in this early technical, see that this educator will not must have and in undivided attention towards father of children and be able to model whatever he or she wants to give the children with the right skills and ensure that these children get them right and they are following. So an educator must be passionate, must have a resolve within him or herself, even as a parent, to influence these children, to model the transformative information that the child needs to him or her in a manner that the child will understand. And the educator will be involved and also allow the child to learn at his or her pace and get what he or she is supposed to get. It comes from passion. If it's as a
All right.
job or as something anybody is trying out, the person will get tired along the line.
Thank you so much, Madam Kem. You have killed it. You've done justice to the question. You see, as you said, it is not passion that drives people into teaching these days. That is a ground that they feel they can leverage on because of lack of that's what because of unemployment in the society. Okay,
Yes.
let's go further. Thank you so much, Madam Ken. Now, Madam Olivia, you are going to explain the next one for us. Patience and understanding. Madam Olivia, patience and understanding.
Okay. Okay, so as a caregiver or as a early year
Educator.
teacher, you must have patience. Now,
Okay.
kids within that age, we know they are very curious. They want to learn through various means. These are kids who would, out of curiosity, they will ask you every question and everything they see. They would want to understand everything that happens. And aside that, you would have individual kids. Some are very hyper, others wouldn't talk. They come with different, temperaments and all that. So you would realize that in a early stage classroom, it won't be compared to, let's say, tertiary or even the primary level. These are kids, you won't tell them keep quiet or sit and they will do it because of, they've been very little. They don't even understand anything. So as a caregiver, you need to be patient. You need to be calm. You should be able to um, be calm enough to have time for all these kids. Individually, their learning level wouldn't be the same. So you need to be down to earth for these kids so that they can be able to explore, because that is how they will learn. It's through exploring various things that these kids will be able to learn. So I think being patient is just, they'll do everything to annoy you and all that. But as a caregiver, you just need to, like I said, put yourself down and then have time for individual kids. No matter how stubborn and however they are, you just need to be there for them. And understanding here, you should, of course, be able to understand that their understanding level wouldn't be the same. They come from different backgrounds, and because they are still growing, there are a lot of things they still don't understand. So you have to be there for them, understand their situation, and then be there for them as an early educator.
Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. I appreciate that coming from somebody that has never been in the line of education. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Patience and understanding. For you to deal with these children, these kids, you have to, there's this elastic, there's this thing when you put on either your skirt or your trouser, there's this they call elastic that helps you to adjust the waist of the trouser or skirt, or tight as the case may be. Now you must be able to go beyond, even when it is no longer tight, you have to go beyond it. That is, you must be for your forbearance level must be high. Your forbearance level, endurance level, your tolerance level must be high. You must go out of the normal way your patience is. And you must understand them. You must understand that they are not matured enough. Most of them, they don't know what they are doing. That is why you, as the guide, you must understand that fact first. That you, as the guide, you must put yourself the same way they are for you to be able to understand them. So the next one is strong communication skills. Of course, you must have a strong communication skill so that you can communicate better to them, creativity and imagination, empathy and sensitivity. This particular point is very important because you must that's why I said, put your empathy, put yourself in their own shoes. Put yourself in their own shoes. If you were the one, how will you handle the situation? And sensitivity. There are people, when we talk about a sensitive person, people that takes things to the heart, people that easily get angry, people that get pissed off with any little mistake. So you must be able to merge your sensitivity and your empathy level. Strong organizational skills. Of course, even like Madam Nkem, you have kids and you know how it is with them in the house. You must have a strong organizational, as in your skills in organizing things must be in a high level. Now, this is the one I want, Madam Chinansa, please, I want you to explain this adaptability and flexibility for us. Please, Madam Chinansa. Madam Chinansa, are you still with us? Okay. All right. Back to you, Madam Nkem. Madam Nkem, back to you. Can you please throw more light on this adaptability and flexibility? Madam Nkem, are you with us? All right. Madam Olivia, are you with us? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Go on, Madam Olivia.
Adaptability and flexibility,
And
right?
flexibility, yes.
Okay. So basically, to be adaptable is being able to, let's say, relate with situations. So as a early childhood educator, you need to be able to adapt to situations, especially like you earlier mentioned, bringing yourself down to the level of the kids. You are, when that happens, you are adapting to the situation. That is bringing yourself to their level, bringing yourself to the environment in which you find yourself. And every other thing that is related to facilitating you being able to stay with the kids and also impact them knowledge. Now, flexibility is you being able to, just like being able to adapt, you should also be able to accept things. When you are flexible, you are not rigid. I don't know how to put it. So you are able to change. Yes, when change to situations, be able to change alongside. When there is a change in the situation, you should be able to also change to go alongside so that you can be able to, whatever that is needed for this kids to be able to learn in an environment, a safe environment and a friendly environment, it will come from you. So that is you being flexible enough to adapt to everything that is around the kids so that you bring yourself to their level.
Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. Madam Nkem, are you back? Madam Nkem, are you back? Madam Nkem? Okay. Madam Chinansa, are you back? Madam Chinansa? All right. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. Adaptability and flexibility. You said it all. You must be willing to accept changes. You must be ready to go according to trends. You must be able to, whatever that comes, is not the old conservative barbaric nature anymore. You must be ready to accept whatever, adapt to the new environment and flexibility. Don't be dynamic, don't be static. Be dynamic. Everybody, the constant thing in life is change. Wherever you go to, the way you are today, that's not how you will be tomorrow. And it goes on like that. So the constant thing in life is change. So be flexible. Don't be dynamic. Don't be static, rather. Be dynamic in nature. Then we go over positive attitude, strong knowledge of child development. We are going to look at child development in module 2. That will be tomorrow. Then safeguarding. Put the safety of the children first before your own. That is the key point. Before you consider yourself as a caregiver or as an early child teacher or as an educator, and you have the opportunity, you are dealing with these kids, put them first, their safety first. It's not that something is happening, you are running away, you want to abandon them, to save yourself first, such that you'll be asked questions later. You'll be asked. Questions will come later. But no, first of all, save them first. That is what you sign up for. That is one of your quality. That is one of your selling points. All right, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. So if after that, we will go to the next thing. Okay, the next one is how their brain thinks, how it works. Now, this is the 4 main developmental domains in a child. We have the social domain, we have the cognitive domain, we have the emotional domain, and we have the physical domain. The social domain, how they interact, we said it before, how they interact, how they associate with people, how they relate with people. We look at the next one, cognitive. This one you can see is very big amongst all of them. You see, that of social is small, physical is small, emotional is small, but that of cognitive is large because this is the center of their reasoning. This is how they reason, how they behave, how they solve issues, how they attend to the issues of life. That is why you have it to be so large. It's very large. Now, the next one is the developmental domains. We've just seen it there. The first one is the cognitive domain. It has under it, you see, memory, problem solving and reasoning, mathematical thinking, knowledge. Okay, someone's hands. Let's view. Someone's hand is up. Madam Chinansa. Madam Chinansa, please go on. Madam Chinansa, please, you have your hand. I saw your hand up. Madam Chinansa. Okay. All right, let's go. I thought I saw her hand. She raised her hand. Okay, Madam Chinansa. Madam Chinansa. Okay. I don't know. I thought I saw her hands up. Okay, let's continue. All right. Now, we are talking about the developmental domains. First of all, we talked about the cognitive. We have the memory, the problem solving and reasoning, mathematical thinking, knowledge development, understanding the world. The next one is the social and emotional developmental domain. which has to do the relationship with adults, we've said that, relationship with other children, emotional behavior, feelings, self-identity, and belonging. The next one is language, understanding words, communication and speech, vocabulary, reading and writing development. Then the next one is the physical, perception, how they see things in life, motor skills development, the way they move, either is fine motor or gross motor, the way they behave, their movement, nutrition and health, physical growth and development. All right, the next one. We are now at the theories and approaches to early child education. Theories and approaches to early child education. Now, we have many of them. We have many of them. But for this level of this level, this 0 to 8, 0 to 5, 0 to 10, we limit it to these five of them. But we are only going to look at 4 today. The fifth one, we'll look at it in the next module. The next module, which is tomorrow, we'll look at the Jane Piaget's theory. Now we have the Montessori method, the Waldorf approach, the high scope, and the Reggio Emilia approach. Now, I think Madam Chinasa is back with us. Madam Chinasa, please help us out. You work in a Montessori setting. Please, can you share your idea concerning the Montessori setting? Please, Madam Chinasa.
Okay, so when we talk about Montessori settings, is the materials and everything around should be childlike size, friendly, and the environment is kind of a safe home away from home. That's the term we use for our own school. So it has to be safe, free, caring. It should be. When it comes to the materials we use, hand to eye, their washing hand basin must be of their child size. Everything must be of the child level size.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chinasa. That was a nice one. Madam Nkem, I believe some of those lovely children you have, they attend Montessori school. So what is your take on the Montessori approach? Okay, maybe not. All right. Thank you, Madam Chinasa. Now, let's go over, let's see. All right. Now, the first one is the Montessori method. Montessori method. This is self-directed learning. This method was brought about by an Italian physician and educator known for a philosophy of education, which emphasizes the potential of each child and their natural desire to learn. This method emphasizes self-directed learning in a carefully prepared environment. Children choose from a variety of materials designed to stimulate specific skills and concepts. Just as Madam Chinasa rightly said, this is a self-directed learning. The environment is, as she said, home after home. This environment is, for the Montessori, you have a kind of environment that stimulates learning. You, the teacher, you are not directly involved. You are not directly involved. You act as a guide. Everything is there. You prepare everything for them. First of all, a neat environment, all the materials they need to stimulate their skills. They have potentials in them. This Montessori method is all about discovery, how they discover themselves. You, the teacher, you act as a guide. You direct them, you just tell them, this is what, you go do this, you go do that, as the case may be. Now look at, before we look at a Montessori class, let's look at the principle. This is the Montessori core principles. The first one, you must respect the child. You must respect the child, knowing that the child is also a child is also a human being. So the way you want to be respected, you also respect that child. You know, in the UK, you don't just treat kids anyhow. Otherwise, you go on a recess. You go on a recess for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. I'm talking about parents, teachers, or caregivers, or these early child education providers. You go on a recess for 2 weeks where you are detained, and as we are going down, we'll see it. Where you are tutored, your mindset is being changed completely. Constant. That's why you have to respect them. Respect them. Now the next one is sensitive period for learning. As Madam Chinansa said, it is not every time. It is not, they don't learn always. You pick a time that is conducive for a particular concept, a particular project they want to do. You pick a particular time. It is not always, or it is not appropriate. Like back then when I used to teach in an international school, and they will tell us the orientation we got. They will tell us that it is not every time you teach a child mathematics. It is not every time you teach a child mathematics. Even though you look at the times table, the way they form the times table, they put it from morning till 12 p.m. Once it is 12, once it is noon, there is nothing like mathematics again. All they have is theoretical, what they can read and all that. So based on this, we pick out time, period, sensitive period where we tell them this is what you should learn, that is what you should do, and all that. The next thing, as Madam Chinansa said, a prepared environment. You cannot have a dirty environment, an environment that is scattered. Anyhow, anything goes. No, the environment must be prepared, neat, such that once they come in, they say, oh, this is football in the class. Look at the floor. Wow, my God. And this will push them, they want to learn more. Now, independence and discovery. I said it that the Montessori method is all about discovery. That is why it is self-directed learning. Now, look at a picture of a Montessori classroom. We can see, if you look at the picture, you see that they are seated one-on-one. See, one-on-one, one-on-one. Everybody is busy doing one thing or the other. You only see the teacher coming to see if what they are doing is correct or not. Apart from, the teacher acts like a guide. That is why if you look at all the tables, there's no teacher there. Look at the first table, or you can see the teacher at the other end. He's trying to guide. For those other ones that they are independent. That is how a Montessori setting should be and must be. Now, this is another one. You can see she's working on her own. She's working perfectly on her own without the assistance of anybody. She's working independently, discovering how to do these things, what the best way she can. All right. Now, let's look at the second one, Waldorf approach philosophy. Waldorf approach philosophy. I think I'll call on Madam Olivia. Madam Olivia, can you help us out? Madam Olivia, the Waldorf approach philosophy.
Okay, so actually it's my first time hearing this approach.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, Madam Nkem, can you help us out? Madam Nkem, can you help us out? I don't know what is happening to Madam Nkem. She has been very active. Okay, Madam Chinansa, can you help us? Can you help us out? Madam Chinansa, can you help us out? Okay, all right, let's go on. Let's go on. All right. The world of approach philosophy. It was founded by Rudolf Steiner. Now, what is this one all about? This is all about creativity, imagination, connection to nature. This is all about your imagination. First of all, a room is given for the child to imagine. A child to imagine things out. Out of the imagination, you bring out your creativity. Now you used to see our kids in the house, our children. What they do is that some of them will sit down, like you sit down and begin to carve out something. You ask yourself, where did he get this thing from? Begin to carve out something. See him drawing before you start painting. And when you look at it, you see he has formed an animal. You see the diagram of maybe a dog, a cat, something, or this cartoon character. That is creativity. That is all Waldorf is saying, that it has to do with creativity. They connect to nature. Now, if you look at good, if you look at this is a picture of the Waldorf representation. What do you see? You can see them seated. See the teacher is sitting at the front. They are in a position where they imagine things. They imagine everybody. There's an imagination. You can see out of their imagination comes the creativity. You can see this, the lady with the blonde hair, the child with the blonde hair. You see her, she's trying to draw some things. Then from there, she will connect her imagination to nature. So this level is all about imagination. From your imagination, you bring out whatsoever you imagine through creativity, and you connect it to whatsoever you see around. That is the world of representation, or the world of philosophy. Now, the next one is the high scope philosophy. The high scope philosophy. The high scope philosophy. This one has to do with you plan, you do, and you go over it again. That is the review process. This particular philosophy was developed by David Wilcott. High scope focuses on active learning through, first of all, planning, doing, reflecting, and reviewing. That is what this, you can see them. You can see what they are doing. You can see them. First of all, you have a plan. You have a plan. This is what I want to do. After having the plan, you go ahead, you execute it by doing it. Then after you've done it, you sit and begin to see if you've done it the right way or not. Then finally, you take it to the teacher. You can see all of them seated round. You can see them seated round. They are doing, this is the process of reviewing it with their teacher. So tell teacher, I did this. This is how I did it. This is how I did it. Teacher will say, you did it well. Do it like this better. That is the high scope. Has to do with planning, doing, reflecting, and reviewing. Then we have the Reggio Emilia approach. Reggio Emilia approach. This one was inspired by Loris Malaguzzi. This approach values the child as a capable and curious learner. The environment is seen as the third teacher, and children co-construct their learning through exploration and project-based activity. Now, this one is all about the children. They go out, they explore. You give them projects. Give them projects. I was doing a little research. And I discovered that the phone that I'm using Techno. Some of us will make use of Techno, Samsung, and other brands. And I discovered that these phones, in fact, the Techno is a project. The Techno is a project that was given to a kindergarten school in Japan. After the real charter of this phone was gotten from Japan, after that it was now being shipped to China, where you now have Techno phone. Originally, it was based on projects like this. They gave them, they sat down and begin to, explore, put things together, and brought out the idea of the phone. Now, if you look at the setting, of a Radio Emilia class. This is how it looks like. You can see everything. You see what's going on. It's all about project based. Project based, like now, our kids, they are on midterm. They are on midterm, some of them 1 week, some of them 3 days, some of them 4 days. They are being given projects. I thank God for the education system of Nigeria. We are trying to imbibe the culture of less theory and more of practical, more of the practical aspect than more of the talking. The A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cat, and all that and all that. We want to reduce that level and bring in more practical project based, where our kids can also invent, where they can also bring out things that will shock the world. Now you can see that's the first example. Another example, you can see, look what are the children doing. You see the teacher is at the other corner. You see those ones, they are paired either one-on-one, one, or 2x2, as the case may be. Everybody has what to do. Everybody is working on a particular. Look at this other one. She's sitting she's sitting alone. She's working on a project. This other one is working on a project. That is what the Radio Emilia approach is all about. Then, before we come to this, I want to ask a question. For Madam Olivia. Madam Olivia, this question is for you. I want to ask a question. Yes, we must participate, okay? The question is, over there in Ghana, do you have a body that checkmates this early year or early childhood, the setting? Do you have a body instituted by the government to checkmate whether they're actually doing it the right way or not?
So if I get you, do we have a body that check for, is it like children, early childhood educators or something?
Yes, that checks to see if the providers are doing it the right way they are supposed to.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
as we talked about, yes. Go on.
Yes. Well, because I'm not into that sector, I may not know. But of course, we have the GES, that is the Ghana Education Service. They have structures, and definitely they have the leadership whose main responsibility is go around the schools to do checks to see how learning is ongoing. But as to whether they are actually checking for this individual approaches, you just taught, I really wouldn't know, but I know there is checks as to how education as a whole is ongoing.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. Madam Chinansa, are you with us? Madam Chinansa, are you still with us? Madam Kem, are you still with us? Okay, all right. I just saw Precious. I don't know who is Precious. Precious, good evening. Precious, good evening. Okay, at this point it's 7:11. I don't know whether we can proceed on the break or let's just continue at once. Can we proceed on a 15 minutes break or let's continue?
In my opinion, we should continue.
Okay, that is from Madam Olivia. Madam Nkem. Why can't I hear Madam Nkem? Madam Nkem? What's happening now? Okay. What, Madam Chinansa? Can we proceed on a 15 minutes break or we continue? I can see Precious. Precious, good evening. Precious, good evening. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. All right. Now, in the UK, you can see UK regulatory frameworks and standard for early years provision. Now, in the UK, this is the body that checksmate the activities of every early years provider. That checksmate if they are actually doing. We said that they are actually using the Montessori method. They are using the Waldorf method. They are using the high scope. They are using the radio linear. They want to see if actually they are doing what they said they are meant to do. They are meant to follow the rules accordingly. Because at this stage, if you miss it, you've missed out. You either develop them or you reduce their development. Now, early years foundation stage, ELF framework. What do they do? Okay, there's a question. Please permit me. I can see there's a chat box. Let me see what's there. Okay, Precious is saying, sorry, my microphone is having issues. Okay, Precious, you are welcome. Good evening, you are welcome. All right, let's continue. Now, what do? They set the standard that all early years provider must meet to ensure that children learn and develop well. Today's class is all about introduction. Tomorrow, look at the core child development, where we'll see the standard that was set, the methods, the ways, and how they go about executing the early year childhood education. So they set the standard. This is the body that sets the standard. Provider must meet to ensure that children learn and develop well. What do they also do? They ensure children are kept healthy and safe. That is another thing they checkmate, if the children are kept healthy and safe. Another thing they do is that they ensure children have the knowledge and skills they need to start school. They ensure that these children, they have the knowledge and skills they need to start school. Who does early year foundation stage applies to? All early years provider in the UK, including the nurseries, the playgroup, the childminders, the preschools, parents, educators, the Ministry of Education, and all of them. Now, enforcement and inspection. The Office for Standards in Education, Children's Services and Skills, Ofsted, is responsible for inspecting early years setting in England. Ofsted inspects how well providers are meeting the standards set out in the early year foundation stage framework. This is what they focus on. This is their main focus. So when, assuming you have a school, you say the school is Montessori school, and they come to your school, if these processes are not met, immediately your school is closed down. It's shut immediately. No debate. It's not like the way people say when you go, they pay you, you have an envelope. After collecting your envelope, you go. No, it's not done like that in the UK. When they come, they focus on the learning and the development requirements. What are the learning and development requirements? We've talked about the science, maths, social studies, the play, how you inculcate play. Without play, in fact, if you are preparing the learning process and the development process, without inculcating an aspect where you have play is generated, is mainly for play, there will be no approval or approval of your school. You must bring in play. Play is one of the criteria, whether it's pretense, whether it's however it is, as long as it is a play where the children can have fun, they can learn from the play that you won't have an approval to open a school. So the next one is safeguarding and welfare. They focus on how you safeguard and the welfare of the children. Remember, I told you that first of all, the children must come first before you. If there is any issue that has to do with emergency, you put yourself online for them. And that is very difficult. That is why when we were looking at it, we said you must be passionate. Safeguarding is also a quality for you to be a good early year teacher, parent, guide, or an educator. You must put them first before yourself. You are second in line while they are first. They are the most important. Then we move over learning and development through play. I've said it before. There is no how, unlike our schools, we look at the time. I've been in a school where we went for an inspection in one of the schools, went to supervise a school that has been there for 15 good years, a nursery, primary, international school. And when we got to the school, we discovered that we looked at the times table, we look at their scheduled time, they have just 20 minutes. There's what they call the long break, and there's what they call the short break. I don't know whether it's in your own setting. Long break is 30 minutes, then the short break is 20 minutes. And when they looked at it, the white man that accompanied us, just when he came, he wanted to see the setting in our state, in Nigeria, and he decided to pick our state and we were called upon to move along with the team. And the white man shouted, "This is not how it's done. You have to dedicate at least 2 hours for them to have fun." They learn from play, they learn from the pretense, they learn from what they hear, the tales, the what do you call it, the routine, this nursery rhymes. They learn from that. You must create that time because in the process of watching the nursery rhymes, they begin to see objects. They begin to see objects. They begin to see. They bring one object to another, and they count 1, 2, and they taught them math. They taught them how to count. They increase the number again, bring 2 again, bring another 2. They are singing. There's music in it, so they feel that it is, but they are learning. In their subconscious and conscious minds, they are learning. Also, assessment. Assessment. You must have a standard of assessing them. You see, examination, they do say that there's a particular setting that believes that examination is knowledge. There's a particular setting when you go to another setting, they believe that examination is not knowledge. There are some people that they believe that examination is not the true test of one's knowledge. A man from UK came, and when he came, someone went for an interview at Julius Berger. The person had master's degree, even PhD in construction and all that. And there was another person. There was another person seated there. The person has not seen the 4 walls of a classroom before. And the white man interviewed them and said that he looked at the qualification. He said, yes, you have master's degree in building, you have BSc in architecture and all that. Then he said, what can you do? Talking about examination is not the true test of knowledge. That is why you involve them more in projects. You involve them more in self-discovery. You involve them more in self-discovery. Let them discover their potential. Not by after you've told them A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cat, D is for dog. After that, you set an exam and you tell them A dash, complete it. That is not assessment. That is not assessment. Assessment is done when that person can apply whatsoever the person or the child learns, or the children, apply it practically wherever you go to. That's what is happening in our country today. Most of the graduates, they cannot defend what they have because they believe in the theoretical things they write on the board. After that, they give you an examination and you write the examination, you score A, you cheat and you score A, and the next thing they said, you've been assessed. And what did the man do? The man told the person with the master's degree with the PhD degree, come and show us what you can do. Here is sand, here is gravel, here is cement. Mix it together as if you want to put it around the foundation. And the person that had the master's degree, the PhD, could not. But the other one that was seated without any paper came, did the thing, mixed it, and at the end, what happened? They gave him the job. And the one with all the qualifications was checked another time. So assessment is not based on the marking. You have A, you have B. Assessment is based on what you have been taught. Apply it and bring out results. Apply it and bring out physical results. Many people, they read agriculture. What are they doing? Tell them, go by right, read the agriculture. You're supposed to come out. You are graduates of agriculture. You're supposed to come out, have your own business in terms of in the field of agriculture. But after reading agriculture, you are now working in the bank. You are now a banker. You didn't go for any extra course, nothing. Without your first degree, you're employed to work in the bank. That is not it. Real assessment comes, apply, get the theoretical aspect, apply it, and bring out results. The 4 guiding principles of the early year foundation stage. What are they? First of all, a unique child, positive relationship, enabling environment, learning and development. All right, this is where we get to talk. This is where everybody gets to talk. Everybody gets to participate in the class. Now we have the contemporary issues and trends in early childhood education. That is the challenges and what is in vogue. This is what is in vogue. Now the first one is family engagement. Family engagement. Family engagement. Oh, Precious is not here. Madam Nkem. Madam Nkem, are you with us? IT guy, please, can you check what is happening to Madam Nkem? Check what is happening to Madam Nkem. I don't know. All right. Before Madam Olivia, please, you have contributed so much. It's like you are taking over the class. Family issues. How does it pose as a okay, how does it pose as a trend? How does it pose as a trend? We are talking about contemporary issues and trends in early childhood education. How does it pose as? Yes, Madam Olivia.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, Madam Olivia.
Yes, so
it is a trend. It is not an issue, but it is a trend. So how does it pose as a trend?
So I'm not sure if I get, how to go about the explanation.
Okay, all right. All right, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, Madam Precious. Okay, Madam Nkem. Madam Nkem, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
At last, praise the Lord, at last. I've been calling on you, but it's like, I don't know what happened. Okay, but you've been following us so far, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, now we have come to this point. I think, let me see, I think that is, okay. I think this is where we are going to stop today because today is all about introduction. I don't want to be in a hurry because I would have compressed everything and finished it in 4 days. In fact, I would have finished it this week, but I don't want us to be in a hurry. Let's take our time. We still have up to Saturday next week, up to Friday, because Saturday is when you will take the assessment that will qualifies you to have your certificate. Okay, the simple exam. So when we talk about exams, don't worry about it. All right, Madam Kem, back to you. Madam Kem?
Yes.
There's a question. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Are you hearing me, ma? Hello, Madam Ukem?
Yes, you are dealing with family
Okay.
engagement.
Yes,
Yes,
family
I'm
engagement.
following.
Okay, it is not an issue, but it is a trend. So how is it a trend in early childhood education?
A trend or a threat?
No, a trend.
You
What
mean
is
a
going on? As in
yes.
TREND.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I understand.
okay.
Yes.
So how is it a
Um,
trend? Yes.
well, I think for me, the family engagement as a trend now in early childhood education is that families are, first of all, the bedrock of the child's moral upbringing and every other thing that the child gets. So, if the family is engaged in the learning of it, in the training and the education of a child, it facilitates learning. It makes it much easier and possible for the child to assimilate the learning modules and other things. And as a
Okay.
trend now, families are sometimes getting even additional hands that will help them after school engagement to
Okay.
internalize what the children are doing. So I think it's becoming a trend now, and people are following up on that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, family engagement. Building strong partnership with family is recognized as essential for supporting children's learning and development. Now, as Madam Uken said, that bringing family into the education setting of your children brings about partnership, strong partnership to the development of that child. Because when there is a collaboration between, at times, the school used to invite parents, come and be part and parcel of the growth of your child academically. Come and see what is going on. That is a strong partnership with family and the school. It's essential for supporting children's learning and development. At times, they do invite parents, come. Like a school I went to, they invited a dad knows how to, a particular family, a particular father, a particular dad knows how to teach mathematics. So there was nothing bad in inviting. The school invited him, come and see come and take part in what is going on. Okay, the man came, taught, bring in project, give parents project also. At times, once they give the children like this long holiday, they give them projects. The parents they'll do it together, and the school will organize a day. They'll set aside a day where the child will come and defend the project. They'll say, "Come with your parents." If they cannot come, either one of them must be available. Either one of them must be available because the project was not done alone by the child. It was there was an assistant, either from the father or from the mother. So what happened, or what happens, what the scenario is that bringing the parents into is to strengthen partnership, growth of the child. Come and see, don't just sit at home and you complain that the teachers are not teaching well, they are not doing well, they are not executing their duties very well. They bring them in to see how it works. Now, the next one is equity and accessibility, or equity and access. This is an issue. This is an issue. Madam Ukem, can you help us out? Why is it an issue? Equity and access. Because not everybody that can access this early childhood education, even here in Nigeria. So why is it an issue? Madam Ukem?
Yeah. You said, why is it an issue that what?
We have
Yes,
the
I'm
next
following.
one. Okay, we just finished
Hello.
talking about.
Network.
Yes,
Okay.
are you hearing me, ma?
Yes.
Okay, we just finished talking
Yes.
about family engagement. Now, equity and access is an issue. Is an issue. So how is it an issue? in early childhood education? It's an issue. It's not a trend. It's an issue.
Well, I would say for equity, I think and access, I think is an issue because it's not everybody that can even afford some of these schools that offer quality early child education programs, or even afford to um, hire people that can do that. So I think I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. I don't know if I'm getting the right picture, but I think it's an issue because it's not the society is not evenly distributed and all of that. So I don't know.
Okay, thank you,
To
ma.
listen
You
to
said
the background, I have a lot of
yes,
VIPs that
yes,
are
yes, yes,
shouting at the top
yes.
of their head.
There are a lot of doctors, professors. I can hear them. All right, ma.
As well.
All right, ma.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Yes, you are on point because we talk about equity and assets. As you said, it remains a challenge, Joe. This is a serious challenge. It remains a challenge. Why? Because issues of affordability. It is not every home. Early childhood education is special. It's a special kind of education from what we have today. It's special because it is a child-centered learning. It is a child-centered learning. So it is not every parent, it's not every father, mother that will be able to access this as a result of affordability, location, at times even cultural sensitivity. In terms of cultural, culture is the way people live. Their values and norms might contradict what is going on. So it is an issue, a serious issue. Affordability, location, and cultural sensitivity is an issue. Now, the next one, we look at teacher qualification and compensation. Now, Madam Olivia, over to you. It is an issue. It is an issue that is affecting early childhood education. Yes, Madam Olivia, let's hear from you.
Okay, so with this particular issue, it has to do with teachers' qualification in the first place, has to do with the fact that just like we are talking, one of the previous slides, you talked about having knowledge or having the knowledge of early childhood education. So there are instances where teachers are being brought to schools to take up this course, and then they do not have the qualification to be able to train the kids or to handle these children. By probably lack of teachers or something, they just post these teachers to the classroom. They do not have the qualification that they can provide this care for the kids. Apart from that, too, they may have the qualification, but the compensation is not there. In this part of our world, everyone is looking up to the government to do something or to compensate teachers in a way that they'll be motivated to be in the classroom. But whoever that is involved, whoever that is supposed to compensate these teachers so they can stay in class, so they can be motivated enough to, handle this case, probably is not there. So
Good.
in terms of teachers' qualification, it's all about they having the requisite knowledge about early childhood education to handle the children, and also motivating them so they can stay in the classroom to handle the children.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you
that's
so
the
much,
best
ma'am.
I can.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. This one, Madam Precious. Precious, okay. She's not all right. Now, thank you so much for that contribution. If you look at that, this is an issue. Teacher qualifications and compensation is an issue. Low wages and demanding workload can lead to high teacher turnover. Now, you see what is going on today. You discover that the workload given to teachers, I don't know whether you see from my point of view, the workload given to teachers are affecting their output. It's really affecting their output because you discover when there's too much load, you expect a teacher to be on duty, It is a boarding school. You expect a teacher to be on duty. Will teach like 18 subjects. One person will teach like 18 subjects. On a normal day, you know it is supposed to be a mathematics teacher separately, an English teacher, a phonics teacher, a basic science teacher, and all that individually. But all together, they'll give just a teacher to teach 18 subjects. 18 subjects alone. There is definitely is not going to be effective. It's going to be a no turnout. It's going to be the required, the level of impartation will not meet standard. And after that, you pay them peanuts. You give them peanuts. You give them peanuts. How do you expect them to work hard despite the workload with the little peanuts you are giving them as compensation, as salary, as wages? That is an issue, serious, and that is why you don't expect them to sit down. Some of them don't even look at what the child wrote, or the people wrote. What they do is that they just mark. Some of them they mark correctly, they mark wrongly, and all that. That is why parents, you must be on the lookout. That is why parents must be on the lookout. Negligence. This is what we are talking about. Negligence. You see someone that went to school. I'm not saying because you went to school to read or to study, your discipline is mathematics or English. You'll be better than somebody that read mass communication or physics. That is not what I'm saying. But according to the Ministry of Education, the way they coin the whole thing, if you are teaching mathematics, you should be a graduate of mathematics or statistics. If you are teaching English, you should be a graduate of linguistics, or at times they bring what do you call it, English education into it. You must be the way they coin the whole thing. But you cannot have somebody that read mass communication. I'm not saying that person cannot be better than. I'm just telling you based on the way they coin it, the requirement. They bring somebody that read mass communication to come and teach English. And when the person comes, that's the qualification. The person does not have the qualification. Because over here, we look at qualification, look at the paper, instead of looking at what the person can do. And after that, you tell the person, this morning, you teach nursery. After you finish teaching nursery, you go over to primary. After you finish teaching primary, you go over to secondary. Then you come back again. It can never be effective. Let's be realistic. You and I, we know that it can never be effective. There will always be a low turnout. Now let's go down. Let's look at the impact of technology. The impact of technology. Impact of technology. The impact of technology. Technology has come to stay. Now, where you have the AI, you have the AI now, and there's a new one. They call it DeepSeek. The new one that was just launched recently, I think this year, early this year. And you have the world where technology is now trending. Where technology is now, you turn around, you turn around, technology everywhere, every nook and cranny is technology. But the fact is that the issue there is that you must know how to balance technology. That is, technology becomes the practical aspect and the theoretical aspect. You must know how to balance them. They have been, constant deliberation whether technology should be part of the curriculum of early childhood education. They have been, even till now, they are still deliberating on it. But the fact is that you cannot roll out technology from the development of the children. You cannot remove it. Technology is part of it because you watch, it is technology that they use for the nursery rhymes that you watch. Yes, it's technology, the television, all the, the cartoon, the inanimate objects. It is technology that they use in designing all those things that stimulates their interest of learning. So you must know as a early childhood teacher, a caregiver, minder, provider, you must know how to balance technology. If technology, you want to give technology 5 hours make sure you give the theoretical aspect 5 hours. You must balance so that none of them is lagging behind. All right, we go to the mental health concerns. Look at the mental health concerns. Early childhood educators are increasingly seeing children who experience anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges. ECE programs need to be equipped to support the social emotional well-being of children. There's rise of mental health. I'm telling you, even in our school, there was a day I sorry, bringing this illustration to get the point. There was a day my son came back home and I saw him, he was depressed. He was depressed. And I looked at him, he did not want to tell me because he's someone that doesn't talk more and he feel within the range. He's within 0 to 8. He's 8 years old by the grace of God. So he did not want to tell me. I asked him what happened in school. He said he was bullied. He was bullied. They did that to him the first day. He never said anything. They did that to him the second day. He never said anything. It was the third day. He could not endure anymore. A child in a senior class in grade 5, basic 5, was playing with a boy in the toilet. They were playing, I don't know what they were doing. And he went there and said, no, it's not so. This kind of play is not so. Though it's none of his business. So it's not his business. They are older than him, senior to him in class and in age. But he went there and he said, he spoke to them amicably that this is not what you should be doing. You should be in the class. You took permission that you wanted to come and ease yourself, return to the class. But instead of that, both of them, they gang up, push him into the toilet. And, if not that he's a bit built, even though they dealt with him and put it that way. And when he came back that day, it was home. He told me, I said, boy, I used to call him senior man. I said, senior man, come. What happened in school? And your daddy, I'm not going to beat you, even though you are wrong. Tell me what happened. And he told me that for days now, he has not been happy. That this is what is going on. That he's depressed. He's scared. The anxiety is there. You see him, as he's saying it, he's scared. You can see from him that he doesn't want to go to school again. He doesn't want to go to that school. I should change him from that school. And I said, no, I pick up my phone and I called the principal. In fact, I called the proprietress. It's not that she was away in US, she could not pick. So I called the principal. The principal was not there. So I called the vice principal. And I told her that I am going to sue the school. I'm going to sue the school. It's not a joke. That they are there and these things are happening and they cannot checkmate these things. Because these things, they affect the mental health of the children. We say until we are adults, before we feel that we are depressed, there's fear, there's anxiety and all that. No, these kids, they pass through the same process. And I spoke to her and she said, sir, please, we are sorry. I told her, do you know what you have done to this child? You have depressed him, you've caused anxiety indirectly because you are not the one that did it. But you are there to checkmate the thing. And that is how it is. So we should be careful. We should be careful. Even parents at home, mind what you do before them. Mind what you do before. Like parents that used to fight, parents that used to be in gloves with their husbands or their spouse, as the case may be, husband, wife, vice versa. Watch what you do. You exchange words in presence of these kids. Be mindful, they are not children. They are not. Something is being recorded in their conscious and subconscious minds that will make them, put them in a state of depression, in a state of anxiety. Even the way you talk to them, can make them be afraid of you. Anytime they see you, they want to run away. All right. That being said, the last two I'm going to call on. All right, Madam Precious. I want to call Madam Precious, but she said she's having issues with her mic. So, cultural responsive practice. Cultural responsive practices. Madam Olivia, what do you have to say concerning this?
Okay, I'll just try.
Okay.
So, culturally responsive practices has to do with practices that society does not frown to. So, practices that actually, let's say, is socially accepted, is culturally accepted, and not practices that is out of, out of culture. So, as a early childhood educator, there is the need to have in mind, or there is the need to be cautious of practices that you put in place, or practices that you, even before the children, the kind of practices that goes on with them, it should be culturally accepted and not out of the context of our culture. I don't know if I get it, but that's my
Okay.
little understanding.
Okay. Madam Nkem. Madam Nkem. Thank you, Madam Olivia. Madam Nkem. Madam Nkem.
Yes.
All right. What can you add to that?
Okay. You mean not culturally responsive practices?
Yes, yes, it is a trend.
Okay, I can say that as a trend in early childhood learning, I think is that there are those practices, those culturally responsive practices are now becoming more significant in early childhood education, because they show the children some of their cultural identities and other things they do that will make them to integrate themselves into the society. You know, there are days you see children do cultural day programs. They come in different cultural attires, or they go to visit their traditional rurals and observe certain cultural rites in the course of their excursion to encourage inclusivity in the society or within their cultural sphere, and show their respect for their cultural heritage or things like that. And you know, as children do those things, they feel maybe a sense of understanding of what is going on around them, and a sense of value for those practices. If it is something that is a New Yam festival, for example, like in the southeast of Nigeria, the child will begin to learn more the should I say, the bane of that practice. You know, in the New Year festival, the farmers are trying to exhibit that hard work pays. It's good to work and have results for your labor. So the one that have the largest yam will be celebrated as the king of the harvest. You know, the children will see that beyond the rights and the entertainment and other things, that the society is encouraging hard work. I don't know if you are following.
Yes, go. Yes, yes, yes. I'm following you, Madam Nkem. I'm following you.
So those things enhances the children's learning and engagement, and those children will begin to take pride in their cultural identity and all those things. Sometimes it may be storytelling or things like that. It's becoming a trend. Sometimes I see those things in programs and all of that. Children will gather around, dress in certain attire. Somebody will be a storyteller, trying to tell them about their traditions and some taboos, or should I say, things that are not as prohibitions in their society and all of that. So children will begin to learn how to show respect for those things and um all of those things, and how to say some chants and words and all of those. For me, it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a trend, and it is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Nkem. I appreciate that contribution. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. I appreciate that contribution. Yes, what both of you said is actually right and is actually a trend. Because if you look at our schools today, what are they doing? They are trying to integrate our culture into the English setting. They are trying to bring in that culture, the way of our people, the way of their people, their family, their tradition. They want to bring it into the setting of the school. They want to create a time. That's why I used to see in our children when it's time for cultural day, they are so happy. They are so happy because that time we are going to buy them shoes, new shoes, we are going to buy them wrappers, we are going to buy them clothes based on the culture that they are depicting. Like in the case of China, there's no child. There's no child, whether you are whether you are right from when you begin to know yourself. We'll talk about that tomorrow in the module 2. But while you begin, immediately you understand yourself that you can walk, you can move, you must practice Kung Fu. You must practice Kung Fu. What they have, self-defense in China, they call it Kung Fu. We know that. So they put it, when they've done the normal teaching, they put it along their curriculum, they put it together. That is their tradition. That's the tradition of the Chinese. They bring it into the setting of the school. So you know that after this social time, 1 or 2 hours is for Kung Fu. They practice their tradition, which is Kung Fu. Likewise, Japan. Japan, they are samurai, they make use of the sword. That's what they do. They make use of the sword. So when it is time, if they create that is their tradition. They call it the samurai culture. Is a group that ancient protectors of the emperor. So is a culture within them. So they bring in this, even though they don't use the real swords, but they make use of wooden swords, so that it doesn't cause injury or it doesn't, cause any, it doesn't send someone to the hospital. So the culture is coming back. They are bringing it, making it a trend now. There is no school, whether you call your school a Montessori, you practice Montessori alone, whether you call your school a Waldorf approach, whether you call your school a high school, whether you call your school a Radio Miller approach, whether you use all those approaches, you must inculcate or integrate the aspect of culture, your background. Now, the last one is the nature-based learning. I can see Madam Chinansa has entered. Madam Chinansa, I'll call on you. Nature-based learning is a trend. Is a trend in early childhood education. So what can you say concerning nature-based learning? Madam Chinansa? Madam Chinansa? All right. So we talk about the nature-based learning. Now, this is the last trend. There are many of them. And if I want to list them, it will take our time, but these are the ones that we get the picture. We use it to depict whatsoever we are talking about. So the last one is the nature-based learning. There is a growing interest in incorporating nature-based experience into the early childhood education curriculum. Now, spending time outdoors are shown to benefit children physically, socially, emotionally, and otherwise. Now, I believe, Madam Nkem, that you have children. I believe there are times when your children, they come to you and tell you that they are going for an excursion. Am I right, Ma? Am I right? Madam Nkem? Okay, then there are times where
yes.
okay, all right. Okay, so there are times where they come, they tell you that they want to go for excursion. They want to go and see the museum. They want to go to the wildlife park. They want to go to the zoo. They've been hearing about lion. Lion is an animal. Lion is the king of the jungle. They've been hearing of tiger. That tiger is the most, what do you call it, selfish cat amongst all of them. They've been hearing of it. You think tiger is one of the most beautiful cats in the cat family? And they've been seeing it from the television. They want to go and see how these things are. They said they said this is a crocodile and this is an alligator. Most people, they confuse both of them together. They don't know that there's a difference between the crocodile and the alligator. They've been seeing it and they've been talking about it. They want to go and witness this thing. Nature. Nature. You should tell them that this is lemongrass, this is lemongrass, it's green. They teach them in the class that it is green. It is green, it is green. Yes, if you boil it, a green juice comes out of it where you take to treat malaria and other things. You can take it as tea and all that. They want to see it. They go out and see it is born out of nature. They go to wildlife park, they go to museums, they learn things out of nature. And this is one of the good, one of the best. I would say this is one of the best aspects of learning. Why? Because you see with your eyes. Because once you see with your eyes, it is deposited in your conscious and subconscious mind. You will never forget it. That is how it works. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of today's class. Was just introduction. So thank you so much. Do we have any question, any contribution before we wrap up for today?
Oh, thank you, Ma.
Isa.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam
Thank you,
Olivia.
sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Chinansa. Thank you so much,
Thank
Madam.
you, Ma. Thank you so much.
Is a sir. Is a sir.
So
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, Ma, go on.
Yes, so I wanted to know, you spoke about theories and approaches to early childhood education.
Yes, Ma.
And there are about four of them we discussed today.
Yes, Ma.
I wanted to know, so in a preschool setting, does all these four incorporate all? Is it acceptable to use all the four approaches? Or is it that some are better than others and then preschoolers are encouraged to probably dwell on the best ones in the classroom, or they can all be used alongside?
Okay, thank you so much.
I don't know if my question is clear.
Yes, Ma. Thank you so much, Madam Olivia. You see, all of them, there's no one that is better than the others. That's just it. When we are learning, we take everything together. We try this one, we try that one, we put all of them together. So in settings like in the four methods, if you are opening a school on a preschool level, if there is an opportunity for you to use the four of them, gladly do it. Madam Olivia? Madam Olivia?
Yeah, I lost you, I think. Yeah,
okay.
Hello.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what I was saying that none is better than the other. All of them is part of learning. If you have the knowledge of the Montessori, is an advantage. You have the knowledge of the Waldorf approach, is an advantage. If you have the knowledge of the high scope, is an advantage. If you have the knowledge of the Reggio Emilia, is an advantage. Putting the four of them together in a school is the sky will be your limit. But the fact is that most schools, they practice especially these are African settings, apart from some schools in South Africa, they mostly practice the Montessori method, the Montessori and the Reggio Emilia, which has to do with projects. But if we can incorporate the four of them at once, I think it will be better.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At this point, it's already 8 o'clock, it's after 8, and we appreciate everybody, appreciate Madam Olivia, Madam Nkem, appreciate Madam Financer, Precious, Olivia, everybody that took part in today's class. I appreciate it so much. No knowledge is wasted. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for the knowledge that you gave to me.